welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I'm working on day number 4 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. This is a month-long hop for these beautiful, exclusively created sketches. Today's sketch was created by Jessica Michaels, and it is fun. I love the circular elements. I love the stars and the little bit of, I guess it could be patterned paper or mixed media or whatever you want it to be. So I do have a little bit of a plan for this sketch, but let's talk about the bingo card. As I have mentioned on the other days, that we have a just for fun bingo card. I am going to be marking off one item per day unless I get behind somehow and need to mark off one or two. And I have marked off sequins, a pre-made title, and stamping or stencils. And I think I'm going to be marking off circles for today's. So let's talk about what I'm working with. I don't have a whole lot out here. I have a piece of white cardstock. I have a stencil. And I have 2 photos from when my son was deployed at the end of 2016. But wait a minute. I also took the time to create my own embellishments. And these are chipboard and cardstock. Some of them are chipboard, some of them are cardstock, gears, and other little pieces that I painted. The chipboard is just a very thin, a little bit thicker than a cereal box chipboard that I painted black, then ran through my Sizzix, my Big Shot, the die, and cut out all of these things. And then once I cut out as many as I thought I was going to need, I went ahead and got out my sprays. Now you have possibly seen these from me before because I usually make a bunch of them at a time, and then I just keep them in a little tub until I run out, and then I make some more. These are great for boy layouts, they're great for car layouts, they're great just for fun, and so I really enjoyed making these. So these sprays I used were a white, and I used, I believe this is Salty Ocean, and then this is, I think it's Aged Bronze is the color of that one. And so just kind of fun with the messy mixed media. And this is the box that I usually use for splatters, but I don't usually put it on my desktop when I'm recording, so they're still in there so that they don't get lost and so that they have time to dry. So I am going to stop this video and I am going to speed it up and let's get this layout started. The crisscrossed elements on the sketch, I have decided to use this star stencil and just create some diagonal strips on my white cardstock using, I believe this is Hickory Smoke, and the other one I think is Black Soot. They're both distress oxides. I chose to use an oxide and not a distress ink because I'm not worried about layering so much as just having some gradient type of color on my background. I'm only trying to be more precise on the sections where you're going to be able to see this. I'm not real worried about the middle because I'm going to cover that up with my photos, which I have die cut into a circle. So next I'm going to add some splatters to my background, and I'm just going to drop some water in several of the greens, and I'm just going to start splattering because I want this to have time to dry, and I want to make sure that I get quite a few splatters on this background. I am really pleased with how this background ended up coming out, so I hope you stay tuned to see how the layout goes together. So I apologize for the glare on my photos. These photos were accidentally printed in glossy. Do not like glossy finished photos, but they are what I have of this particular occasion of my son. I don't think I actually have the digital files of these photos anymore. I've gotten better about making sure I save my digital files in multiple places now, but this was back when saving them from my iPhone to my computer was new to me, and I didn't understand how to do it, and I finally figured it out. So anyway, you can see that one of the photos is a photo of my son and another Marine side by side. Somebody is looking at them through the sight on their weapon. That weapon was unloaded, so this is perfectly safe. This was during a training mission at the range while my son was deployed. And you will also notice that the top of that photo is cut off, and that's because in order to center it on the sight, I had to leave the top of that photo flat. I will cover it up. I realized my mistake after I'd already glued down the larger gear, but I will lift that gear and I'm able to move it without destroying my background. I did choose gray letters with intent, and I realize that they kind of disappear into my background, but that is mostly because I did not want to take the focus off my background and my photos. The star of this layout to me are my photos, and I wanted to make sure that that was still the case. In person, you can see that title very well. I know on camera it does disappear, but trust me, you can see it in person very well. I shared this layout with my son, and he was really pleased with how it turned out himself. So that's always a huge pat on the back when one of your kids likes something that you've created about them. So the only journaling that I put on this layout was the date down there in the corner. I will write his name on the back of the layout so that we know that it's Garrett and not my husband. My husband is also active duty. He is not a Marine, he's in the Army, and our son is infantry Marine. But, 10 years from now, I may not remember, that uniform or whatever. And of course, people looking at my albums may not know the difference in the uniforms themselves. So I will definitely have his name on the back of the layout. Now I am going to use these gray and yellow stars as some embellishments on this layout, and I'm just kind of plopping them down in random places. I've already put the glue down. I think you saw me do that a few seconds ago, and I'm just making sure that I get some of the yellow so that they stand out and some of the gray so that they actually stand out as well. They are a little bit shiny. They're technically star sequins, and they came from an Allie Edwards kit. So this is where I realized, oh, I forgot to cover up that flat spot. And at first I tried to add a fourth gear and I didn't like it and it wouldn't fit. So I am going to move it down, and you see that I very carefully lifted it up. I did tear a little bit of the chipboard on the back of layout, but I'm able to cover it up by just turning that gear around a little bit, and you really can't tell. Thank you for stopping by my channel today. Make sure that you check out that description box below for that collaborative playlist for the entire month for these sketches. I really enjoyed playing with this sketch, and I hope you try your hand at it as well. Have a great day. Bye.